Hello, everyone. My name is Rihanna Palmer, and today I will be sharing the difference between functional behavior assessments versus functional analysis. So, a little bit about myself and my current field-based experience. I became an RBT in September of 2019. I first started out as a babysitter, and I babysat for children who were on the autism spectrum, and their moms were the ones that told me about the registered behavior technician position because I had no idea about it. I got my bachelor's of science in professional health sciences from the University of South Alabama, but I knew that I didn't really want to do an office job. I wanted something that was more hands-on, and I knew for sure that I wanted to work with children. I have experience working in the school-based setting, in homes, as well as the clinic environment. In addition to that, I've also done community outings to various places in the community, to the doctor's office, the dentist, barber shop, etc. I also have experience with running group sessions for older learners, and I have the ability to do sessions over telehealth by using Zoom, Google Meets, or any other type of streaming platform. Where would I like to practice? I would like to start out as a potential BCBA with my agency after passing the board exam, hopefully wanting to take it by the summer of 2024. My preference for now is to stay in the center where I have more support that's readily available versus being kind of on my own. I'd like to also take my skills into the school settings after becoming more competent in a clinic environment. And then I would also like to grow my competency with ABA techniques with older learners and work more so on social skills as the new generation is always changing and there's different types of streaming platforms, there's different types of social media now. So everything is different than when we were in middle school and high school, although it wasn't that long ago. I would like to more so help learners navigate their feelings whenever they begin to want to start dating people. My experience with behavior assessments, I have experience with observing the VB-MAP assessment, and I'm currently getting more familiar with the ABLES revived assessment and how to get it started initially on Central Reach. I've also worked with learners that have used VB-MAP, ABLES-R, and the AFLS assessment. I would like to get more experience though with the Essentials for Living assessment. This one here. It's a bit of an assessment that I've listened to some podcasts about, and it seems to be really interesting to me. So, when should functional behavior assessments be used? After doing some research, I found out that the IDEA Act was amended in 1997 in order to concentrate on different assessments for children who may be displaying problem behaviors in a school setting. This FBA can then be used to develop a type of behavioral intervention plan that can be used across staff and providers, as well as it being used at home with the parents. FBAs are often used to analyze different contingencies of the problem behavior. This is meaning it can happen whether the learner is alone, if they're wanting access to tangible items, if they're trying to escape, if they're behaving for attention or sensory needs. And it can be caused by whatever may be reinforcing them within the natural environment. Research also shows that studies that use FBA interventions versus using some sort of non-functional behavior assessment may have a higher notion of social validity from participants, caregivers, and practitioners. This is just being said that these stakeholders are agreeing that the intervention is successful in navigating through the problem behaviors and finding alternative appropriate behaviors for the learners to engage in. And these findings were from Romani et al. And Jong and Copeland in 2019. And then more so describing what a problem behavior is, evidence supports that language problems that are not worked on in earlier years may result in a risk of more challenging behaviors as the child gets older, and they can be harder to reverse as the child ages. And a majority of these behavioral problems can be related to communication, and it can come off as forms of inattentiveness, or aggressive behaviors towards adults or peers. The function of behavior is defined as a relationship between the behavior of humans and environmental factors. And more so elaborating on a functional analysis as opposed to functional behavior assessment. This is used by manipulating the environment to observe functional relations between antecedents and consequences for a variety of different target behaviors. It also involves a 20-question interview that can be used as an indirect method to gain more information from caregivers as what the problem behavior looks like and what types of solutions they would like to see as an alternative appropriate behavior to engage in. And to further elaborate on what a functional behavior assessment is, this one is used to determine those antecedents and consequences of the challenging behavior while creating a hypothesis based on what the different contingencies could be. So with a functional behavior assessment, there's more often times where the learner might be placed alone in order to see how they respond to that alone condition. Functional behavior assessments also have 3 different categories, which include indirect, descriptive, and experimental methods. They can be used to obtain records as well, conduct interviews, or use questionnaires or surveys to develop subjective assessments after direct observations in various settings. The research also shows that interventions that use FBA techniques, they continue to see that there's a low cost of the assessment and it's being less intrusive, and it takes a lesser amount of time to conduct as well. And what my organization prefers is to use a functional analysis rather than a functional behavior assessment. A lot of my BCBAs will also use what's called a practical functional assessment, which is a bit different than anything else that I've seen in the field. This is my first time really getting to experience what this is. And it gives the learner a lot more freedom and increases their tolerance for various activities or tasks by having them to say my way when they need a break instead of engaging in that problem behavior. So in some situations, if a learner is working on tolerance for denied access, they might ask for a tablet and the RBT might say, not right now. And then if the learner were to say my way, then the RBT would immediately go ahead and give them that tablet. So that way they're learning how to tolerate being denied access at first. The steps for an FA in my agency would be to get in contact with the scheduling department to ensure that there's enough time to complete the assessment, as a lot of things have to be scheduled at least 2 weeks in advance to ensure that all learners have coverage for their direct sessions, because it's always a priority. There's also a next step of getting information via those indirect methods. So this could be using surveys, doing questionnaires, setting up a parent interview to ask questions. Also, observing the learner by overlapping in a one-on-one session or setting aside time to conduct this assessment, which would be the first step. Next would be collecting data on the problem behavior and then composing all these data observations into a template that is located within our agency's Google Drive. So for a lot of our different templates, as far as what a BIP looks like, or a potty protocol, or a SIM withdrawal, we have company-wide templates that are in our Google Drive. And when you're able to start on those, you just make a copy and add it to your learner-specific folder. How long does this process take? It can take anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, which could be due to scheduling conflicts, such as last-minute coverage and ensuring that all RBTs have appropriate supervision for the month, as well as client cancellations. Some trainees that are in our student program are also able to have the opportunity to shadow these assessments or assist the BCBA with conducting them. So to conclude, after doing my own research, I learned that my agency is more so focused on providing compassionate care, and they really drive themselves on that assent withdrawal and making sure that our learners are always comfortable with whatever we're trying to do with them. So my agency believes that functional analysis should be ran versus a functional behavior assessment due to ethical concerns regarding the assessment, which is especially for the alone condition. And here are my references that I use as far as getting extra information to include in my PowerPoint. I hope you all enjoyed it.